Okay, good morning. So today we are going to have our last session of the second quarter. We have studied a lot of things earlier, and even in the last session we summarized quarter two. Okay, so but we have seen that over 5 lists we have studied a lot of verbs. Let us have a look at all the 100 verbs together that we have studied. Okay. And we will ask a few questions. So, this is the list of 100 verbs that we have studied in 5 lists. We will ask 2 questions on some of the verbs here. Okay. First is that whether the verb can take an object. If yes, then how many objects it can take. So, Akshat, this verb answer, जवाब देना, can this verb take an object?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. How many objects?
1 or 2.
1 or 2. Okay. So, up to 2 objects it can take. I answered him. I answered a question. I answered him the question he asked. Okay. So, क्या, किस चीज़ को और किस आदमी को, ठीक है, दोनों हो सकता है. ओके. एक और सवाल पूछते हैं इसी वर्ब पे. क्या ये वर्ब है? आंसर कि कुछ और है? मतलब किसी और चीज़ के तौर पे इसको इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं? हाँ, कर सकते हैं. सही बोल रहे हो. किस चीज़ के तौर पे? नाउन, एडजेक्टिव, एडवर्ब, क्या?
Noun.
नाउन. करेक्ट. आंसर मतलब जवाब देना. आंसर मतलब जवाब भी होता है. ओके, गुड. दूसरा, अराइज. अराइज मतलब उठना. ठीक है. क्या सवाल पूछ सकते हैं कि क्या उठता है? राम उठता है. क्या उठता है? नहीं होता है ना. अच्छा, किसको उठता है? नहीं, एक बिल्कुल नहीं आएगा. ठीक. तो ये एक ऐसा वर्ब है जिसका कोई ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं होता है. ठीक है. चलो तीसरा वर्ब लेते हैं, आस्क. आस्क का ऑब्जेक्ट होगा?
हाँ.
बिल्कुल. कितने?
2.
अप टू 2. यस. क्या पूछेंगे? सवाल. किसको पूछेंगे? स्टूडेंट को. ठीक है. तो 2 हो सकता है. बी, बीट, बिकम, ब्लो, ये सब के लिए इस टाइप का सवाल पूछो. अभी तुरंत नहीं, आराम से. ठीक है. बहुत सारा टाइम होगा, आधा घंटा लेकर बैठ के एक एक सवाल के बारे में पूछो. किल, क्या और किसको. एक साथ एक ही सवाल पूछ सकते हो. व्हाट डू यू किल? आई किल टाइम. होम डू यू किल? आई किल रावण. ओके. लेकिन एक ही साथ दोनों नहीं सवाल उठेगा. ठीक है. एक सेंटेंस में एक ही का जवाब आएगा. ठीक है. You killed Ravan and a tiger, or you killed a lion, a tiger and a dog. Whatever you do, that whole thing is the answer to a single question. Okay. Not like give. I give you a book. You and book are 2 different things. Okay. I give 10 books to 5 students. Okay. So, it is not 10 objects and 5 objects, 15 objects. No, nothing of that sort. There are 2 objects, 10 books and 5 students. Okay, good. Yes.
Ravi wants to become a doctor.
Ravi wants to become a doctor. Yes. In that case, you are asking whether want is taking 2 objects. Actually, it is not called object. It is not called object. Only one object is there. What does Ravi want? To become. And it is to complete the sense of the verb become. Become what? A doctor. So, a doctor is the object of that become actually, okay, or complement rather.
Yeah. So since there is an object with become, so can
Or complement.
can we make it a passive into a passive voice?
No, that is a problem. That is why I am a little objecting to the word object. It is actually a complement, because become is one of the verbs of incomplete predication, after which you need something to finish. The way we saw be, where we had something more. Okay. So, I will become, sentence doesn't get completed. Okay. I will give, sentence is complete. So, those verbs which take an object, in the sentence I may decide to give the object, supply the object और not supply the object. I will give, मैं दूंगा, ठीक है. मैं क्या दूंगा ये बताना मेरे हाथ में है. मैं क्या किसको दूंगा ये बताना मेरे हाथ में है. इन I will become बोल के मैं छूट नहीं सकता हूँ. उसके बाद मुझे बताना पड़ेगा कि क्या होना है. Okay. So become like be is a verb of incomplete predication. Okay. जिसके बाद कुछ खत्म करने के लिए कुछ चाहिए. Okay, Akshat, one question. What is the difference between be and become?
Be and become.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Are be का form है ना? Right now, you are not an expert of English, but after a few years, you will become an expert of English. Okay? Become वो process है जिससे एक स्टेट पे तुम पहुंचते हो जो परिस्थिति होता है बी. ठीक है. बिकम होने का डायनामिक प्रोसेस है और जब हो जाता है तो उसके बाद जो स्थिति है उसको वो आता है बी में. ठीक है.
There are a lot of such verbs like come, fall, with which when you add be, this kind of sense comes, like incomplete
Oh
predicate.
yes.
Actually, and we can set a class out of that. I mean, become, befall,
Perhaps.
and all of them are such. And
Yeah,
the
many
incomplete
of them are
predicate,
like that.
incomplete predicate part will be.
Yes, there are many such verbs. In fact, we can collect a
List maybe.
list of such verbs. Yes, or there may be some such list in the internet. Okay, so ask yourself these questions. Ask whom? Yourself. Ask what? These questions. That how many objects, whether this verb can take an object or not, and if so, then whether it is 1 or 2. Okay? Break. Another question. Break, of course, you can get an object, one object. Okay. Another question I am asking, is break just verb or it can be something else also?
Can be used as an adjective. Broken.
That is broken. Break point you are talking about?
Or in the third form.
The third form is always adjective. Noun. Noun.
Yeah, it can be noun.
There is a break in our knowledge of the ancient Indian civilization.
So give me a break.
Give me a break, yes. Okay. So we know some little bit of some era, and then after one dynasty was gone, then we don't know the details of next 30 years. Then we know the details of the other dynasty who got their histories written. Okay. So there are a lot of breaks. Okay. So objects, whether there is no object, whether there is one object, or whether there are two objects. Okay. And alternative meanings of the verb, sometimes alternative meanings as verbs, and sometimes alternative meanings as nouns or adjectives. Okay. So as you examine these words, you will find that a lot of details is actually hidden behind many of these words. Okay. So we will not spend too much time on this segment today, because on this segment we have quite a bit of things to discuss, and the assignment for today will be to read a fresh story from the internet and write its summary. Okay. What do I mean by fresh story? Okay. Fresh means which you did not read earlier. Okay. That is the story that you read particularly for this purpose. Of course, if it happens that that story you earlier also once read, we don't object, but it will be nice if you read a fresh story from the internet. That is important, because as you read it from the internet, in your submission, you will not only write the summary that you are making, but you will also give us the URL or the address of the story which you have read. Okay. So that while reading your summary, if we want, we can read that original story also, okay, in the original place. So, you will give us the address or the URL of that site where you read the story, the actual page of the story, and then give your summary, okay, and with a few other things which we will discuss. Question is, how do you summarize it? Okay. So, some of you can do good summary, and some of you get into trouble when you try to write a summary, because sometimes size is a problem. Okay. So, formal standard of précis writing, which is given in school exams, is the standard is 1/3 size of the original. If the original is 100 words long, then you are typically expected to make out of 33 words. Okay. If the original is 500 words long, then you are expected to make a précis out of 167 words, and so on, typically 1/3. But then quite often that is not practical, because you might read a 500-page book, and then you do not write a précis out of it over 167 pages. Okay, that sounds quite meaningless. I mean, because there is no purpose in writing it. Okay. So, it is possible that the original story or essay is very long, okay, and you want to write a very short summary. Okay. Is it possible? Yes, of course, it is possible. And is it useful? Yes, it is useful, and sometimes extremely important. For example, one day I went to buy a book. Okay. As I was looking at the books in the bookshop, I had to decide which book to buy. And you know how I decided? As you turn the book back, on the back cover, I found a summary. Okay. What that book is about. Okay. That summary was less than 200 words, and the book was 900 pages. Okay. So, 900 pages book, 200 word summary, and based on that I decided that I will like this book, so I buy this book. Okay. And I read that book and I liked it. Make note that this exercise, if you do very well, if you become an expert in doing this exercise, then you will be a very, very highly valued member of a very, very good company, and you will be given lots and lots of money to do a job which is so interesting that I will be jealous of you. Because you make note that that summary on the book cover a human being wrote. Okay. His job in his company is to read interesting books and write such summaries. Okay. And for that, God knows how much he is paid. Okay. So, even if you do not get that job, or even if you do not like that job, still through the exercise, during the exercise of writing that summary, you will think deeply on several things, that subject matter, then English, and how you will put it in a few words, so that your reader understands the basic idea of the original writer. Okay. This exercise actually does a lot of development in your brain, okay, which will give you an advantage irrespective of whether you want that job or not. Okay. So, extremely short summary of an extremely long thing is something which is very sensible. Okay. So, do it. Okay. For example, say in 600 words we want to write a summary. 600 words means something like 40 to 60 sentences, depends upon how long sentences you write. Okay. So, if you write sentences of say 12 words on an average, then this will be 50 sentences. Okay. So, say 40 to 60 sentences, say 50 sentences or 600 words, you want to write a summary of a story or novel or essay, which is say 10 pages long or maybe 500 pages long. Okay. You can do it. In any of the cases, you can do it. Now, some people can do it just like that. They read the book, and then they sit with a pen and paper and they just do it. But some people lose control on the part which they deeply appreciate. Okay. Chapter 3 of the book you really loved. Okay. So, when you write chapter 3, during that you end up spending some 15 sentences, okay, or 20 sentences, and then later when you are in chapter 7, then you find that you cannot finish it within 50-60 sentences, and that means chapter 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 gets clubbed into 3 sentences and your reader does not understand anything. He will not buy that book. Okay. So, be careful, you have to sell that book. So, those people who lose control on the part for which they deeply feel, deeply appreciate, they need a strategy. Okay. So, let us discuss such a strategy. First thing in the strategy, which is not part of the strategy actually, read the matter, read the book, the story, the essay or whatever it is, read that in normal pace. At that time, you do not stay conscious that you are going to write a summary of it. Okay. So, in normal pace, happily, read it happily with free mind, primarily to enjoy it or gain knowledge out of it or get informed. You see, I am telling enjoy it if it is story, on the other hand gain knowledge out of it if it is an essay, okay. Or if you are a student of literature, then still you will be gaining knowledge out of it or get informed, okay, if it is a manual for that matter. Whatever be the case, you just read it thoroughly to enjoy it or get the information or get the knowledge. After that is over, if you did not understand it well, maybe you will read it again, that is so for any book. Now the operation starts, the strategy part of it. First operation, list. This time you sit with the matter, that is the book or the story or the essay, whatever is the matter, sit with the matter all over again, this time with pen and writing pad or pen or notebook. Okay. Quickly review the matter and note down its major items, what happened in that story. Okay. So, the prince sees the princess, I mean of a different country, okay. Otherwise there is no fun. Okay. Then the prince gets, then the second item is that as he was returning from there, the prince is captured by enemies and so on. So, item 1, item 2, item 3 you list down. Okay. So, all the items you have listed. So, those items you will list without which the story will remain incomplete or the essay will remain incomplete. So, those items you will certainly mention. Now, on the way, whether the prince had some exchange of jokes with some passerby, that may not be of great importance. So, that you can quit unless that joke has something in the story. Okay. So, then that has to be pointed out. Okay. So, those items you list down which are necessary for the complete thing, and right now do not number them as 1, 2, 3, 4 or ABCD, because as you do that still there may be some adjustments needed. Okay. You may need to insert or remove some items later. So, at this stage just list down, okay, unnumbered list, okay, just list down the items. Okay. Fine. Second operation, order. After you have got the list, then study that list of items and revise them and their order. Some of the items you will revise the wording of that, and you will sometimes put the item 4 at the place of item 2 and item 2 at the place of item 3, item 3 at the place of item 4, because the way Charles Dickens told his story, you may not decide to tell the story exactly in the same way to your nephew or your son or your friend. So, you decide in which order you want to tell the thing. Okay. So, it is your decision to organize the narrative. So, do that, revise them and their order if needed. Now, you count how many items are there. 20 items, too many. 5 items, too less. Okay. So, if there are too many items, then merge some of them together. Can you put 3 items together and say that this is one big item? Okay. On the other hand, if there is one large item, can you split it into 2, 3 items? Okay. So, if the number of items to begin with is very less, then split some of the items and make them 2 or 3. On the other hand, if the number of items is too large, then try to combine some of them, okay, to make mega items. Next, you adjust. Suppose there are 13 items in the list. I mean, if it is not between 5 and 20, then we will bring it. Okay. So, right now suppose it is 13 items. Okay. So, you decided that you will write the summary in 50 sentences, right. So, 50 sentences over 13 items. So, 50 divided by 13. Anybody with quick maths? So, it will be something close to 4 sentences, okay, 3.8 something. Okay. So, 4 sentences on an average, 4 sentences on an average. That means that for every item on an average you will get 4 sentences. So, decide and plan that you will write every item in 3 to 5 sentences. Once in a while one item may be just 2 sentences, or once in a while some item may be 6 sentences, but typically you will try to put them in 3 to 5 sentences. Fine. Then you look at the list of your items and decide. Item A, how many sentences do I need to write this? Item A, small item, 2 sentences, note down, A, 2. Item B, how many sentences do I need? 4? Okay, write 4. Like that, make an estimate. After you have estimated all of them, A, B, C, D up to M, 13 of them, then add up and find out what is the sum. If the sum is between 48 and 52, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, great. Okay. Otherwise, try to see what can you do about this. Okay. If this turns out to be 65, this is too much, then you see whether you can curtail somewhere, okay, and so on. So, the moment it comes to this, or even 45 to 55, you say okay, and then you start writing. Okay. Operation 4, draft. All these 13 items you write down one by one according to this plan. So, when you write item B, then you think carefully that this entire thing I have to write in 4 sentences roughly. That does not mean that 4 sentences means a huge number of words, long sentences. No, 4 sentences here roughly means 48 words. Okay. So, you think in that way. So, 48 words is equivalent to 4 sentences. Okay. So, with that plan you start writing each item, and your composition will be good if you do not break your sitting across items. I mean, or you do not break your items across sittings. Okay. So, one item you are writing, you have written 2 sentences, and then you go off somewhere, and by the time you come back, the total orientation will be different, and you will lose the touch, and the way the paragraph starts, the paragraph will not end like that. It will be looking somewhat funny, and your reader will suspect that perhaps somebody else wrote this part. Okay. I mean, may not be, but it will not come so nice. Another thing is that these items are logical subject wise items. Okay. So, typically no item will start or begin in between a paragraph, or at least it will never happen that paragraphs are also starting and ending in between items, and items are also doing that. That will typically not happen. Okay. So, every item try to finish in a single sitting, and every paragraph should be the part of a single item. That is, one item may be 2-3 paragraphs, okay, but one paragraph should not spread over too many items. That would mean that your enumeration of the items was perhaps not so good. Okay. So, like this 13 items, suppose in 4 sittings you have completed. Okay. So, fine, great. Now, I am assuming that till now you were writing with pen on paper. So, that is why I am writing this, type out the entire write up and save. If originally you typed in the computer, great. Okay. So, then you already have it. Operation 5, edit. This is one thing, one step which many people do not do properly, and so they do not have good readership. Their readers are too few. Okay. So, you edit it. Check the manuscript thoroughly and seriously for mistakes. What kind of mistakes? Most important mistakes to be corrected are the tense mistakes, verb forms, and of course, spellings. So, these mistakes you correct thoroughly and seriously. Okay? And of course, you look up notes, you look up dictionary to find out what is right. Okay? Spellings, there is no logic in spellings, you see. So, you have to look up a dictionary. So, originality is fine, but please have originality in ideas. Do not have originality in spellings. In spellings, you cannot have originality. Okay? So, be humble, look up your notes, grammar notes, dictionary, etc., if necessary. Okay? And after that is over, then check it once more from top to bottom for mistakes of articles, punctuations, and so on. So, in this also, be serious, but not over serious. For example, in my early career as a teacher here, I had a student when he gave me his manuscript of some 53 pages or something like that. I found that in lots and lots of places there should have been an article, a, an, or the, which is missing. In many other places there is an article which is not right. So, then after correcting his first 3 pages, when I told him that, oh, what you have done this, in many places articles are there where articles should not have been there, and many places it is the other way around. So, thoroughly revise it, correct it, and give me back. You know what he did? Where in many places he inserted an article, and from many places he removed an article. The situation was exactly the same as it was earlier. Okay. Then I said, not that, not like that. You see, you have to know where article will come and where it will not come. Accordingly, you have to do it. He said, but sir, I don't know, because I have seen this use also and that use also. The point is that in so many places he has seen the use of it correctly, that he did not recognize which one of is it correct because of what logic. And in so many other places he has seen those things wrongly, that he does not have an idea of what is right and what is wrong. Then I had to sit with him for 10 minutes and gave him that little lesson which I gave you in session 10, okay, where we were talking about the basic point about the use of articles. Okay. So, in this, I am telling be serious, but not over serious. Some people, after putting one sequence of articles, then when they revise, then sometimes they feel that this article should be there or should not be there. I only wrote, no, so maybe I made a mistake, so change it. So, it should not be like that. About articles, there are grey areas, articles and punctuation marks, there are grey areas. So, be serious. So, correct all those things which you know as mistakes, and if something is there for which you have a dilemma, you are not sure whether it is right or wrong, then maybe do not force yourself to correct it just because of correction, just for the sake of correction. Okay, but be serious to ensure that whatever you know correctly appears correctly. Okay. Finally, operation 6, revise. You have written it. Okay, you have written the entire summary, but now you pretend that you are the reader. Read the same thing. Read through the work thoroughly to get the gist of the matter. Now you pretend as if you are the reader of this piece. Actually, you are the writer. Okay. So, fresh you read it with the spirit of a reader, as an actual reader is likely to read it, for whomever you are writing, the customer for which you are writing that summary on the book cover. Okay. So, think that you are the customer of that book and you are reading that. Okay. What you will understand, how you will be impressed. Okay. So, from that perspective, now read it. And if the reader, which is you, gets the meaning that the author, which is also you, okay, or the original author of which you are making the summary, okay, of whom you are making the summary. So, whatever the author meant, if the reader gets that same picture, then it is great. You have done a good job. If while reading it as the reader, you are thinking that, oh, I am getting this picture, I am getting this impression, but that is not what I meant as an author. So, that means there is something wrong. Okay. So, settle it. Okay. After settling it, leave it. Go back to it after some time. Okay. 1 day, 2 days. and if it is a serious thing which you are planning to publish, then maybe 1 week at least. After which, not for the assignment. For the assignment, you do not give 1 week, because within 1 week there will be deadline. Okay. So after a time gap, for this assignment, you try to give 1 day time gap. That means you plan to finish writing this by Tuesday. Okay. So that you have a gap of 1 day in hand. Okay. So after a time gap, read it once lightly. Okay. So light reading, and during light reading, you will spot some more minor mistakes here and there, or maybe some major mistake. So correct those things. Okay. Now make a PDF version of it and publish. Okay. Upload, publish, mail, do whatever you have decided to do with it. So the strategy is a 6-step strategy, and you can call it loader. Okay. List, order, adjust, draft, edit, revise. If you are not writing the summary of some other work, if you are writing your original story, your original novel, your original essay or report, okay, then it will not be loaded, and for that perhaps you do not have the space limit. You can write whatever big, whatever long you want to write. Okay. In that case, one step will be missing, and the items are not just a list of items, but you have to think over it, and you do not have a reference, you do not have an original from which you will list down the items. You have to collect them. Okay. You have to collect your ideas. So in that case, the strategy is called coder. Okay. Collect your ideas, order them, draft the manuscript, edit the manuscript, revise it. Okay. C-O-D-E-R, coder. So this code, which is called coder, okay, is very useful. And incidentally, this I found a few years back in a school textbook. Okay. It's very valuable, interesting thing. Okay. Any questions on coder or loader? No? So you try to follow this, or if you write your summary naturally, then you do not have to follow any strategy. Okay. That is best. But if you have any difficulty, then you can follow this strategy. And in any case, whether you follow this strategy or not, what we will deeply appreciate is a list of items which can be called as the subject matter of your paragraphs. For example, whether you are using this strategy or not, suppose you write your summary, this assignment. Okay. If you write this assignment, which is a summary, in say 50 sentences, over say 9 paragraphs. Okay. We will highly appreciate, we will deeply appreciate if for every paragraph you give a sort of little heading kind of thing or title kind of thing. You do not have to put that as a heading or a title, okay, for every paragraph. But if you can give us a list of topics which are later developed as those paragraphs. So in your assignment, after your URL address where you have read this story, okay, and before your actual summary, if you can give a list of items which roughly correspond to the subject matter of your paragraphs. So a list of 9 items which in detail are found in the 9 paragraphs, that we will really like. Okay. Anything else? Okay. You will say that how 200 page thing or 500 page thing can be summarized over 200 words or 100 words. See an example. In our group, in our team, we did some exercises. Okay, this is one such example. Okay. In our group, some of us experimentally wrote such summaries. Okay. And this is something around 30-35 sentences, 600 words or something like that. Okay. And in order to know how long is the book, after I lost the book from my hand, I went to Flipkart to see how many pages this book has, and I found that it has 232 pages, 232 pages and the summary is just one page. Okay, 600 words, 30-35 sentences. It is possible, and from here you can get a rough picture of the original story. Okay. Any quick questions? Okay, we are finishing quarter 2, and as at in the beginning of quarter 1, I pointed out to you that there are thousands of stories free available in the net. Here again I am pointing out the same thing, reminding you the same thing, and this may come out to be useful for you to pick up the story which you summarize. And just like after session 10, we have an additional exercise for teachers, okay, which is on the issues of teaching of English proficiency program theme to students. Okay, that is here. Any questions? No? Okay, so we stop here, and in the next session we start with quarter 3. Thank you.